Well, we got a whole bunch of images to talk about today, but more importantly, I want to dive into pretty much the whole story and what has been going on with our Bumblebee movie Megatron. We got our first images that popped up at the London Comic-Con. Then we got a slew of images as well as some behind-the-scenes information from one of its designers through Instagram. So let's jump into it here on the Transformer Slag podcast and make sense of everything like we do here. And shall we? So, the man behind the scenes of this, Sam Smith, posted a slew of images not long after the pre-orders went up, not long after we saw the images from London Comic-Con and the in-hand images in the booth at Hasbro that weekend. And now we got a full picture of what's going on here. But why don't we take it a step back and explain everything what is going on here? Because this is a pretty interesting creation, a collab of multiple different people getting to this point. So what was this Bumblebee movie Megatron? We'll start with that first before we get into everything else that we have to discuss about it. So this was a Megatron that was rumored to be in the Bumblebee movie. Those rumors pretty much started early on when we started to see little merch stuff related to the Bumblebee movie. We saw a tiny turbo changer that was Bumblebee movie related, a teaser for an upcoming YOLO Park model kit. So already there was this suggestion, was Megatron supposed to be in the movie? And those rumors kind of continued through that. And then when we move forward to even stuff like Rise of the Beasts, when we had that Titan Changer Megatron, which we're supposed to assume is in the same continuity as the Bumblebee movie, it had box art that really had a lot of visual cues related to that tiny turbo changer, and it had a general silhouette and shape similar to that YOLO Park teaser, and thus that legend continued to grow and that rumor continued to grow. Then we got that test shot that leaked out. And the speculating continued even more because now we got to see the veneering and the details, and it was like, this for sure is leading to this whole speculation of stuff, not to mention with the listings that we got early on with an MV6 leader class Megatron, and MV6 being the sixth of the live action movies, aka the Bumblebee movie. So it just continued this whole trend of that. And then we finally saw the pre-order images and everything like that, and of course the panel at London Comic-Con, as well as the behind-the-scenes stuff from Sam Smith, one of the Hasbro designers. So we got the whole story with that. And so this is a design by Sam Smith, who's responsible for a lot of the Studio Series stuff. It's also designed by Yuya Onishi, who, he's the man behind all the past Optimuses and Hot Rod and Rodimus figures we've gotten in the past couple of years, whether it be Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, Studio Series 86 Hot Rod he did, the Titans Return one, the Rodimus Commander class. I could go on and on. He was even responsible for the Megatron Info Bar cell phone. So that's kind of his first Megatron toy he did. Now he gets to do this one. Now it's his crack at a good Megatron toy. So pretty hype stuff. Pretty hype stuff. So pretty much how this all starts. So it seems that this was supposed to be a Megatron that was supposed to be in the movie and was supposed to end up being frozen at some point to bridge the gap between the Travis Knight Bumblebee movie and the 2007 Michael Bay movie. But that ended up getting left out and, dropped from the movie itself. But the CAD models still existed. And it was a CAD model solely of the robot mode. The belief is that robot mode was just to be used for that opening scene in the Bumblebee movie that we all love as fans, and all that Cybertronian goodness and Cybertronian designs. And this is probably where that Bumblebee movie Tiny Turbo Changer sourced its design from. Where it got the tank idea, maybe it was something that was just, written as a note, who knows, but that's where that Bumblebee Tiny Turbo Changer pretty much sourced its look from. And Sam Smith and the crew, they found that CAD movie model of that robot mode that existed of that Megatron and decided, why don't we do a new spin on the Studio Series line, the concept art characters, and thus Studio Series leader class SS-109 concept art Bumblebee movie Megatron was born, as well as others for the future. So Sam, along with Emiliano Santalucia, drew up some concept art of what the alt modes could potentially be, because there was no written in stone alt mode, just this robot mode. And they kind of like ended up on this like, well, seems like they were kind of going for a tank, judging on the tiny turbochanger, but they also wanted to kind of bridge that gap to the 2007 Michael Bay film, and thus making him a triple changer along with the tank mode, because he was a tank in Revenge of the Fallen, so kind of have all that DNA there. Also with the fact that the two main Decepticons in the Bumblebee movie were also triple changers, so kind of having that there. But that jet mode being part of it, of that triple changer, is that main link to the 2007 movie, where, of course, Megatron ends up being a Cybertronian jet. So create a counterpart and a bridge to that gap. After those designs were pretty much put together by Emiliano, Yuya-san took those designs and kind of figured out a way to make it into a toy. He was pretty much told, lean heavily on the robot mode because that's the true source material. And those two designs by Emiliano, the tank and the jet, try to just make it all work, but make sure it doesn't hurt the robot mode. And that's a common thing with a lot of triple changers, is sometimes in order to achieve one, you got to kind of shortchange one of the others. And that's just been part of the history of triple changers since we first got them in Transformers in 1985. So, but it seems like Yuya did a pretty good job, in all honesty, and turned Emiliano's designs into something that works for a toy and does not get rid of the great, very traditional look of Megatron that we're so used to, that CAD design gave us, and gave us something that's very screen accurate, even though screen accurate technically doesn't exist in this case. Sam Smith says that the toy has really amazing articulation as a result, and he even has the big fusion cannon, and it could be folded up and stored on his back, so you could continue with that cool posing and everything. The deco for the figure itself was actually sourced from all the different kinds of material that they have to pull from, the tiny turbochanger, the concept art. So there's a lot of different reasons for the colors that were chosen for this one. We got tons of great photos as a result of it now, specifically from Sam Smith and behind the scenes stuff, so it looks really good. There was a mention that they could not keep the massive size that the YOLO Park model kit teaser suggested, because there was that teaser that showed like how much bigger Megatron was from Optimus. But that's fine, considering there was no canon material that says otherwise outside of this one teaser. And it's a leader class, so it's already going to be bigger anyways. And Sam shows through little concepts that it will be bigger than your Voyager class Optimuses. So at the end of the day, the intention is still there. So that's really good. Also worth mentioning is the box itself. So it's a leader class box, obviously, because it's a leader class figure, which has an open window as opposed to the closed boxes that we got over the past couple of months, really. No doubt due to retailers complaining, Walmart and Amazon probably being the two biggest ones. And we also get a little peek inside of what that Studio Series cardboard background is going to be. This is going to be the Cybertron Falls background. And it looks like it's that opening scene from the Bumblebee movie, continuing and cementing more the idea that this character probably would have existed in that opening had he not been cut from the movie. MSRP on this is going to be $54.99. So still keeping the old MSRP from last year. No price increase, thank goodness, going into 2024. And is planned to ship out February 2024. Looking real good. People really wanted a good kind of G1 flavored Megatron and Studio Series, and granted, this isn't a Studio Series 86 item, but this is something that kind of scratches that itch in a lot of ways for people, and it's a nice leader class. So I dig it a lot. I think it looks really good. And again, this opens up the idea to a whole bunch of other concept art and concept characters, considering that this one's called Concept Art Megatron. It's going to open it up to other stuff. We already have another one already in this Studio Series line. And we're probably going to talk more about this first wave of Studio Series 2024 in the very near future, because there's a lot to discuss here, a lot of really cool stuff. And, I just want to talk about it because it looks really good. Let me know what you think, guys, and we'll talk again really soon here on the Transformer Slag podcast. And thank you for listening.